going back into history, I would like to ask, like, how did you develop interest into research as a child?
Well, I have been interested in exploring things even as a seventh or eighth standard student. You see, I think that was the time when I was taught about lenses. Even before I was taught, you see, my brother had shown me a lens, and using a lens you can burn a piece of paper and so on. Those kind of things I used to do, and they were used for magnifying. And then the class they taught us about a telescope. So I knew, I had already seen a lens. So I wanted to make one. In fact, I got money from my father and to travel some 32 kilometers on a bus. And then I had to go to a bigger town because lenses were not available in the town where I lived. So purchased lenses. And I still remember the shortest focal length that I could get was 5 centimeters. And the longest that they had available was 30. So therefore if you make a telescope using that, you will get a magnification of 6. And then you have to be able to adjust the length, and so I made devices. It's not very difficult. I could make it so that you have to adjust the length, focusing on different distances. So I did that, and then of course there was a challenge to make the magnification higher. But I could never get a lens which was having a larger focal length. You see, unless you have a larger focal length, you will not have a magnification. So then I had this idea that I can combine a concave and a convex lens together. The only thing is that the concave should have a longer, that's correct, should have a longer focal length. And then when you combine, you see the net result is actually a convex lens having a larger. So that actually, that way I think I could make the objective about 100 centimeters and the eyepiece were 5 centimeters, so the magnification was 20. But then what happened was, you see, the lens radius was small. So because you see the light, the amount of light that comes in was very little. Therefore, even though the magnification was there, the clarity was not there. So that was a kind of disappointing thing. But then before I purchased these lenses actually, because you see I didn't know that lenses can be purchased and so on. So I would take a bulb, light bulb, break it, and then 2 pieces of them, you can put them together. And then I would put, what is the object?
Some sellotape or something.
No, there were no sellotapes in those days. Wax I would put, and then fill it with water, and they actually were nice lenses, but the thing is the water wouldn't stay there, right? Because you use candle wax to do this, and it will go away, it will break away in half an hour, and so these lenses could never be used for anything else. They were very clear, they were actually having a nice focal length and so on, but that was it. Then I used to do that kind of thing, and then later on, when I learned about surface tension, you see, you can, for example, if you have a pin, right, you can float it on the surface of water. If you put it carefully, you can float it. I used to do that. And then I had the idea that I could magnetize it. And then if you put it on the surface of water, then you see it will point, it is a compass. And then again, when I learned of electricity, then I could put a wire on top of it and then cause it to be reflected. So I used to do this kind of thing as a student. I also grew some crystals, but I never had any chemicals. I mean, the only crystals that I had was sodium chloride crystals I made. I mean, you take a small piece of a crystal, hang it on a piece of hair, and you have to get hair from a lady and then hang it, and then I could draw, I could make fairly decent crystals. Only of 2 things. One was sodium chloride, the other was copper sulfate. Because copper sulfate was easily available, because you see, I come from Kerala where we grow rubber. And copper sulfate is actually used for rubber. So I always was interested. I don't know why I was interested, but I was.
So So it is like very inspiring to hear about your innovative things from your like childhood.